Schwarzman, and I'm an assistant director at the CSUN Career Center, where I supervise paraprofessional student assistants, and I'm very happy to meet with you today. I've played an integral role in the conceptualization and development of the CSUN Career Link, the Career Center YouTube channel, and the Career Innovation and Interactive Lab. I'm an experienced career counselor with a master's degree in counseling with over 20 years of experience in career with a focus on internships and over 15 years experience providing vision and expertise to develop career readiness through multimedia. I am an advocate to advance learning through education, facilitation, and promotion of internships. I believe it's essential to have a futurist mindset in career because change is constant and student expectations for advanced technology is the norm. So I am here today to talk about internships. And I have a real passion for internships. I've been working with them, as I said, for quite a long time. And I'm here today to share some information with you about how to make those connections. All right, there we go. So first we're going to start, what's an internship? An internship is a chance for you to do some on-the-job professional training. Remember, you need to have, it's important to have intentional learning goals. Otherwise, it's just another job. So it gives you this option to take what you've learned in the classroom and apply it into the world of work. Okay, so why do one? What's the purpose? Why do we do internships? Well, first, it's to get some experience. It's gaining that experience, building your resume, seeing what it's like to work in the field that you are interested in, testing it out, because you know something, you may really like it or you may not. But remember, you want to differentiate between the industry itself and the particular internship, because it may be that you end up not liking the internship, but you still want to work in the industry. Also, you can apply your knowledge that you've learned in the classroom to the workplace. It's a chance, again, like I said, to clarify whether or not you're on the right path to get you to where you want to go. And then ultimately, it can help you find a job. It may not be in the particular company where you're interning. It may be for another company. But when that other company sees the experience that you've had, they will be more likely to hire you. Okay, and the last but not least, this is your chance to develop those personal skills, develop those skills like communication skills, teamwork, etc. Those are really important skills, and those skills sometimes you don't develop in the classroom. So this is an option for you to develop the skills. Okay, so how do you find an internship as we are emerging from the pandemic? One thing I wanted to share with you is that there are more internships now than I've seen in years. Employers really want to hire you. So it's important for you to reach out and apply for those internships. So I'm just going to go into CareerLink here because I'd like to share you. This is one resource for you. So CareerLink is a job, and it has jobs and internships in here, as well as it's a career exploration and planning tool. So as you can see, when you're in CareerLink, there's 8 different areas that you can go. So there's information on self-knowledge, academic programs, career profiles, handshake jobs, internships, and more. specialized advice and resources, job search preparation, which is where you're going to really do the resume writing, prepare for your interview. All of those details you'll find under this section, career readiness and planning, and graduate and professional school. So when you go to handshakes, jobs, and more, there is some very rich information in here. One, you can connect directly with Handshake, which we will do so today. Secondly, there is a database that we create where we collect different types of opportunities that are out there for you, and we post those opportunities in a database that we've created. In addition to that, there's LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a job and internship database as well, where you can browse jobs and internships and apply for them directly through LinkedIn. I'm going to scroll past this section here because there are a few more databases for you. There's BuzzFile. BuzzFile is this great place. So if you want to do some research about employers, locations, different industries, different companies, you can go into BuzzFile. In the past, this was a very costly database to purchase, but we have it for free for you. Next, if you want to work overseas, or you want to work for a foreign company that is in the United States, like for example, anybody know about Nestle? You know, Nestle, they make a lot of different kinds of chocolate as well as different kinds of food items. Nestle is actually a Swiss company, but they have a lot of different workplaces around the United States. So you can check and see if there's a place that you want to work for Nestle. And then finally, we have Going Global. And this is if you want to work in another country, this is a really rich resource for you that you can explore. You can look for internships, jobs, etc. Okay. So as you can see in the middle here, there's a lot of information about internships as well as on-campus student employment. It's all about, we have job shadowing, informational interviewing. So this is a resource for you, but I'm going to go directly into Handshake now. And when you log into Handshake, this is what you're going to see. You will see a section here where this is today. They put 3 different sessions in front of me because our job fair is coming up on March 10th. They said, oh, maybe you want to do a one-on-one with the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. And it's based on my profile, it put this forward to me. Or maybe I want to work or do a session one-on-one with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. I'm like, oh, that might be interesting. And then finally, a one-on-one with Golden Hippo, which is a really cool company in Woodland Hills that does e-marketing. And it's got a lot of different opportunities. So you can sign up for a session with either Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities and Golden Hippo during internship week. It's also pulled up some other things that might be related to my degree, and that is academic counseling intern. I think it's really funny. It pulled up a student farm internship. I'm not sure why that was the case, but I saw that this morning and who knows? And then we have research experiences with internships in national energy. The reason why it pulled this information up is because I have some in my profile. One of my interests I put in there was lots of things related to engineering. And then you can see down here, new jobs recommended for me. They're all in finance. That's because I put that element in my profile. Now, I actually my degree is in my graduate degree is in counseling with a specialization in career. But because I put all these things, all these other elements of my interest in my profile, that's why you see this on the main page. So the better your profile, the better the information that comes to you. Also, if you wanted to attend an event, you can click on this section here, and I'm going to source by date right now. I want to know about what's happening this week. Okay. This week we had this morning an event, Handshake A to Z. Now it's Career Center Internship Roadmap. You can see all the other events. These two are today. Southern California Edison and CVS Health are today. And then tomorrow, Golden Hippo and the rest. So those that you're interested in, you can just sign up for us. Sign up for those sessions. Okay, so I'm going to get back out of, there's so many other resources inside Handshake. You can search for internships here, but right now I am, and there are thousands. There are thousands of internships in here for you. I know because we approve internships every day. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, let's see, my PowerPoint. Here we go. So these are some of the resources that you're going to use to kind of move forward to find those internships. Okay, next, we've got some other resources for you. So as I mentioned, Career Center events. If you're looking for an internship, you can always connect with the Career Center. You can make a drop-in appointment. You can do that virtually right now, but soon we will be doing those drop-ins live. You can ask a faculty member because faculty will often have that oversee internship programs, often have resources that might be available to you. In addition, it's about networking. It's like talking to people. You can actually network in Handshake and connect with other students that are doing some of the things that you want to do. Or you can talk to a student in your class and ask them what they're working on. And then social media, that you will find out resources on our social media page. And then also, many of you are a part of clubs and organizations. Speakers will come into those sessions sometimes, and you can always follow up with that speaker if you're interested. And then we have job and internship websites. I'm going to go over some of those later in the presentation. Okay, to me, this is one of the major keys of success when you graduate. To find a job successfully, to find the pathway that you want to take successfully, I strongly encourage you to do something called an informational interview. An informational interview is kind of something that's flipped. So you're actually asking the questions of the interviewer. You are interviewing the expert. So you can find these resources, like I said, through Handshake. You can find these resources, connect with the Career Center. And what you do is you ask maybe 5 to 6 questions. First, you find someone, see if you can set up an appointment with them. Once you do that, you ask some questions about the profession itself. And this can give you some good insight into whether or not you're on the right path. I did that before I took my jobs. It was very valuable information because you can find a pathway that you really thought you wanted to follow, but after talking to people, maybe that isn't the pathway for you, and you can find that out in 20 minutes. And I find that very valuable because the more you do this, the more likely you are to find the pathway that you want to take. Also, it's a really easy way to build your network because when you're done with that experience, you can ask them to refer you to another person, and then just keep them in the loop about where you are in your search. And they may have ideas for internships as well as jobs. Also, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll answer them at the end of the presentation. But yeah, just type them in the chat, and we have somebody that's monitoring that for you today. So you can go into, as I mentioned in here, you can go to LinkedIn. This is a great way to connect with recruiters. Tell them that you're on your way, you're exploring, you want to see if you're on the right path. Amazing things will happen to you. People will offer you jobs, people will offer you internships. As when you start to put yourself out there, that's how they're going to get to know you. Okay, so how do you make yourself more marketable in the workplace? Number one way to do this is to develop your soft skills. They're called many different things, but developing certain skills are really very important. Your communication skills, your writing and your speaking skills. These will open up many jobs to you. Being flexible is really important in the workplace, because especially now, things change so quickly, as we know with COVID, how different things are as we're kind of emerging from this pandemic, how much jobs have changed. One of the reasons why employers are hiring you is they're looking for somebody with creativity, because they're looking to grow. So if you have those skills, creativity skills, that you can bring into their workplace, they get fresh and new ideas from you. And so that's something that you want to think about, and develop all of these skills. Digital fluency, meaning can you use different types of software beyond Microsoft Word? Can you actually really use Excel? Because some jobs, they really want you to have those skills. Do you know how to write for social media? If you're in a marketing position, that's an important piece. Also, you want to develop some, maybe some software from Adobe software like Illustrator and Photoshop. So you can not only write for social media, but you can design for social media. Also teamwork. Most of the time we're working in teams. And so teamwork skills are very important. Leadership skills, problem solving, professionalism, as you see there. And then finally, a way to develop some of these skills. Sometimes it's in the classroom. A lot of times it's when you come to events. When you're, let's say, going to the job fair, you have 10 minutes to meet with a recruiter and talk about things related to the job. That's where you're going to develop some of those skills. Also, finally, LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning is really important. You can go on and develop some of these skills. Let's say you want to learn how to work with Adobe Illustrator. You can take classes on there. You can get certificates on there. Developing your digital fluency. You can take other courses on there, or leadership, or any one of these things. It's very, very valuable because you have a skill on your resume that many other students don't have. So think about that as you're developing your resume. I have resumes on here only because this is an element of where you can show those skills that you've developed. So the things that we just talked about can go onto your resume. And you can see that A resume for college students typically is one page only. You want something that's very, very clean. Make sure you edit it over and over again. Bring it to our drop-in hours, virtual drop-ins, so you can have your resume critiqued. Our peer educators can help you with that. And then know that there's something really important about a resume for you to know. Oh, excuse me. Let me go back. And that is it is always a work in progress. So as we grow and change and develop different skills, those skills will go onto your resume. So just know that, sometimes I hear students say, I just want to be done with this. Well, there is never a time when it's completely finished, because you as a human are growing or taking different classes or learning new skills. And that's why they always need to be updated. Please have somebody else's eyes on your resume, because then you can make sure all the typos, mistakes, anything needs to be updated. You can make those changes. As you can see, I have a section on categories. Categories are, I listed a lot of categories on here, including clubs and organizations, senior projects, experience, honors, if you've had any publications. You can also create your own category. So I want you to keep that in mind. I strongly encourage you to join LinkedIn and put your LinkedIn, once you have developed your profile on there and you're constantly working your LinkedIn, which we have another session on LinkedIn that can be helpful for you of how to create a profile. But once you have that on there, make sure you have that on your resume. So put your LinkedIn address on there, a professional email address on there. If you have a portfolio or a link to a website that can demonstrate your work or show your work, you want something like that. You want to be able to create that. You maybe don't have it right now, and that's okay. But if it fits with your work, you can have a portfolio. So that just gives you some ideas of categories. Next, you can turn to social media for inspirational and motivational quotes, for videos, for career readiness and soft skills. You can follow us on social media. Right now, we're in the process of building our social media. So mostly we have events on there, but you will see more as we move along. So, one of the students often ask, where can I find an internship? Well, as I mentioned before, I gave you lots of different resources before, but in addition to that, I'll let you know that there are other websites out there. So the websites are, there's Glassdoor, there's Google, Indeed, internships.com, idealist.org. As we mentioned before, using CareerLink as a resource is great because there's a lot of databases already in there, including Going Global and Uniworld. You can also go to the Career Center homepage. It's an incredible tool that actually, let me link out to right now, because I didn't go over that, and typically I do, but there are so many resources on our homepage. As you can see, you have access to our virtual Career Center, and there's lots of information about upcoming events, but you can go to our virtual Career Center and you can see who we are. Okay, taking a little time to download, but this is a tool that was made by our multimedia specialists and a student team. So if you want to learn about counseling, you can click on counseling. And I don't have the audio on right now, but you have, I don't think you're going to be able to hear the audio. But there's audio. You can change the backgrounds if you want a different color. But you can, it's interactive. So this is a way for you to take a look at the Career Center in a 3D mode. Also, you can see what we have to offer our live Zoom. If you want to talk to somebody in person, but you want to do it virtually, you can do that. If you want to know about Maddie's Closet, which hopefully we'll be able to do something with Maddie's Closet this semester, but I'm not really sure. If you want to learn about micro internships, here's some information for you. So we have a lot of detail on our page, and something that I think will be very useful for you is our Career Center mobile app. So here you can download the app on the App Store if you have an iPhone, or you can get it on Google Play. Here you will find so much information, including Cynthia, as you see here. Cynthia is our chatbot, so she can help you out too if you want to learn about events and things that are happening in the Career Center. But there's all sorts of resources on our mobile apps, and I strongly encourage you to download that. We also have our calendar that will show you the events that are happening right now. So if you scroll here, you can see the internship week and all the events that are happening throughout the rest of the semester. So I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint and go on to the next. So basically, I've taken you through internships, how you can get started, who you can connect with. Do know this process takes about 6 months if you're starting your beginning journey with creating your resume, etc., and then submitting your resume for positions out there. It's a process. It takes some time. So I want you to know that it doesn't happen overnight, but we're here to help you. So as you can see, you can reach us in so many different ways. You can email us at career.internships@csun.edu, or you can just email us at intern@csun.edu, or career.center@csun.edu. Let's say you want to have a counseling appointment, you can connect in that way. So that really wraps up my presentation for today. I'm actually going to go back to, I'm going to stop sharing here. Let me stop my sharing. There it is. Okay. Could somebody put the spotlight on me, please?
The spotlight is on you.
It is? Okay. I guess I can see everybody, not sure why. So anyway, what kinds of questions do you have for me? Anybody have questions?
So we do have a question in the chat.
Sure.
The question we have in the chat is, should I list all of my past jobs on the resume, or only what is relevant to the internship or job that they're applying for? And also, if they only list the jobs that are relevant, will they have to explain the gaps in their work history?
Okay, that's a really good question. There's 2 things you can do on your resume. You can put a section called relevant experience or related experience, and then a separate section called additional experience. So you can put both of those jobs, both of those sets of jobs on there. There's only so much space though, so you'll only be able to go back so far. But things that you think might not be relevant could possibly be relevant. And the reason why I say that is because jobs that are, let's say you had a job at McDonald's, okay, and you were on the frontline customer service, right? And then you got promoted to a position, like a lead position. That position shows growth. It also shows customer service skills. And so many jobs have customer service in them, including my own. As an assistant director at the Career Center, it's really important for me to have customer service skills, because I'm connecting with students and faculty and staff, and I need to know how to do that. So things that you might not think are relevant could be relevant, including if you're an engineer, even if you're an engineer, because they want to see if you can relate to other people. So do think about that when you're putting your information on your resume. Okay, do we have any other questions?
Yes, we have one that just popped up. And Monet wants to know, if you can't find an internship in the specific industry that you're looking for, is it okay to take a position that isn't related to the desired industry? For example, I'm looking for an HR position in the film industry, but can't find anything. So should I narrow my search to just HR internships? And thank you.
Yes, you've answered your own question. Apply for an internship in HR with another company, because there are transferable skills that you will build in that company. And then when you apply for another, let's say you don't get accepted for an internship this semester for something in the entertainment industry, but you go and you do an HR internship in another company. Let's say it's could be a small company, because we have a lot of small businesses in the San Fernando Valley. If you live in the Valley or even downtown, area, we have a lot of small businesses in Los Angeles. So if you work in HR for one of those small businesses, yes, you can transfer your skills and apply, let's say, the following semester to something that you might find in the entertainment industry. So good question.
We have another question from Naomi, who wants to know, what do you recommend for someone who is unsure of what career they want to pursue and who wants to apply to internships to see what they may like? Also, how should we respond in interviews?
Okay, let me start with the first piece. Before you start your internship, and I'm not sure where you are academically in your career, if you're freshman, sophomore, or what level you are. But if you're trying to do some career exploration, I recommend that you come to the Career Center or go to career.center@csun.edu. And if John, if you could put that in the chat, please. You can email, that's our main email, and you can email us, and you can sign up for an appointment with a career counselor, because that may be one area where you can start to explore and figure out the path that you want to take. While you're doing that, this is when I recommend informational interviewing. Really go out there and talk to people in the field, because the more you do that, the more you will figure out your pathway. I firmly believe in that. And then once you do that, then you might be closer, you might be a little bit more ready to apply for those internships, because for an academic internship, it needs to be approved by your department. And Some departments approve 3 units of academic internships, some approve 6 units, but that approval will come directly from your department. But if you're thinking about getting paid for an internship, then you can apply for paid internships. But if you really don't have an idea of your pathway at all, I think it'll be harder to get hired. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, we have a question from Alexandra who wants to know, what advice would you give to people who have no prior work experience for their resume?
Oh, I love this question. So if you have no prior work experience, look around. Tell us where you volunteered. If you have done some volunteer work, great. Whether it's in high school or any time you volunteered after that, that's one thing that you can put in your resume. Also, you can put your skills in there. So you can write down your software, that your knowledge of software, whatever it might be. Let's say it's Microsoft Word and Excel or PowerPoint. You can put those skills in there. The soft skills that I talked about before, you can put your communication skills in there. A section on your soft skills, or it could be adaptability. Those are some things that you can put in that can really enrich your resume. Okay. Next question.
We have a question from Grace who wants to know, when we get an internship, how do we submit it to the Career Center for them to review and approve it?
Okay, so can you just answer a question for me? Are you a student from the College of Business? Okay, thank you, Grace, because it's a different process for different areas. You would go directly to their Career Center site and just look online, and it should tell you how to get approval for it. They have a specific process of internships that they approve. So just check in with their Career Center, or the person in charge of that center is Craig Oka. So his name is craig.oka@csun.edu. So you can also email Craig. Okay, next question.
So our next question is another question from Monet, and she says that she knows a lot of internships want juniors, but is it okay to apply as a senior if you can't find anything in your junior year?
Absolutely. Yes, most of the time they are looking for juniors and seniors. Some companies are looking for sophomores. On occasion, they're looking for first-year students. But no, as a first-year student, if you're completing your first 2 semesters and you have 30 units, at the end, if you're applying, you can apply for internships for sophomores at the end of this spring semester. So know that if you've completed those 30 units, then you're automatically a sophomore. And I know there are some positions, actually HACU, the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities, which was one of our sessions this week. I think it's on Wednesday. But they are, that's as long as you are a sophomore status, you can start to apply. So there are a lot of actually internships out there. And as a senior, absolutely apply now so you can get that experience before you graduate. Okay. Oh, good. And Monet, you can always email us at career.internships@csun.edu, and you can meet with a career counselor. And so the one that I mentioned before is career.center@csun.edu. Okay. Any other questions, John?
Yes, we have a question from Armand, who wants to know how we can go about securing letters of recommendation, although we were experiencing online school and not having the opportunity to meet our professors personally.
Um, that is a little bit more tricky. But what I would do is I would connect with you can still connect with that professor through email, and and talk to, especially this semester, connect now. Whether you're live or you're virtual, you can either connect via email, or if they are offering live office hours. If not, go to the office hours that are virtual. So that can start. If you work on campus, you can get letters of recommendation. It depends on what they're for. So if you're applying for a scholarship, you need to make sure you know the person pretty well to ask for a letter of recommendation. If you're applying for, and that usually tends to be a faculty member or a staff member on campus. If you're applying for a job, oftentimes they're not looking for letters of recommendation. They're looking for references. So it's somebody who can speak on your behalf. So it just depends on what if you're applying to graduate school, you will need faculty support. And I would just email your faculty members. They're going to know how you participated in the class and whatnot, and they can help you with that. Okay, next question.
Where can we go to get our resumes reviewed on campus?
Okay. I think I answered this, but I will answer again. We review resumes through drop-ins. Our drop-in hours are posted on our website. So just go to csun.edu/career, go to our website, and you can see when we're offering our virtual drop-ins. We will begin to offer drop-ins in person soon, but I will let you know that you can do it virtually. Okay. Any other questions?
I think that's it.
That's it. Okay, so we'll give you a couple more seconds to see if you have any. If you're mid chat and you're trying to, oh, you're welcome. I really appreciate it. I love what I'm doing. I've been working with students for so long. I also work with the employer side. So, I have some insight from different communities that I work with. Oh, we have one more that popped up. Let's see, from Monet. Can you read that to me, John?
Yes. Do you recommend having both a cover letter along with the resume?
Yes, I do recommend that, and make your cover letter interesting. And when I say that, you don't want a cover letter that is actually, okay, this is a mistake that students make, and they do it to me all the time because I have jobs. When I put my jobs out there, they'll send me a cover letter that's written to the library, the CSUN library. And I'm like, hello, I'm a different person. So that will make a recruiter unhappy. So just to let you know. Also, you want to make it specific to that organization. So let's say you apply to, let's say, Universal Music. Okay. You apply for a job there, and in your cover letter, you work about how you talk about how you want to work in the music industry, but you never say anything about Universal. That is, employers are not thrilled with that because they want to know, why do you want to work for Universal? Or why do you want to work for Disney? What's the specific reason? How can you contribute to those companies based on your knowledge or experience or whatever it might be? That goes in your cover letter. So they do need to be specific. There are elements that, and you also need to tell them how you learned about the actual position, open position. So anyway, I'd like to thank you all. You've got a lot of resources out there to get you started. If you're not sure of your search, come to the Career Center and meet with someone. Liliana, I really appreciate what you were saying. I'm glad that you got the information that you needed, and please do connect with us. Thanks again.